I usually try to conquer as much subject matter as I am today. Usually I try to pick one thing in the sugya and work on. I'm going to try right now to give more mahalach in the whole sugya of Taqfa based on the way myself and my chavrusa learned it up and problems we had that I tried to be mitaretz. So Lamaisa, just one thing first. Probably you guys all learned this up, but I think it's a nekuda that's going to come up a few times. So I thought I'd mention it anyways. In the first imtim tzaloymar, Takva echad b'faneinu motzino so miyado, that if somebody in a matzah of shnayim eichzim, one of them would rip it away from the other guy with a shasik v'hadar tzavach in front of Beis Din, we'd still be motzino so miyado, we'd take it away. Hekdisha ein mikudeshes. If a person therefore tried to make an amira of hektish on it, ein mikudeshes, Rashi tells us that's already talking about. Also, beloy takva, which is the whole sugya itself. We're not going to get into that. So Rashi says ein mikudeshes, v'loy olim hekdisha mi takva. That hektish is not more powerful than its kifa. We're basing the koyach of hektish on a takfa. Why is that true? Because even in the second imtim tzaloymar of takaf ekva echod b'faneinu ein moitziin oisam miyado hektisha b'loy takfa mahu. Even in that side where there is a hektish, why is there a hektish? We say that it would be, if it really does work, it's only the kayach of takva. Meaning if somebody wouldn't actually be able to pull it away, and that would work, so a hektish can't be any stronger than an actual kifa. That's the strongest it'll be, and that comes up also weiter in Tosfos learns like that as well. The ha'hacha, the takva kain, when he talks about what a mesusa is, and he speaks about by mesusa, if we're going with the din called olim govar. This is on the second side where we say it wouldn't work. Why wouldn't it work? Because a hektish can't be any stronger than its kifa. Meaning what? Let's say if you have it called olim govar, if one guy is govar and pulls it over, that always leaves that it could be pulled back. So if that always leaves an ability to pull back, so hektish, which is only as strong as that, wouldn't be able to be chal, because you can't say hektish would be pulled back. No, if your hektish is pulled back, there's no hektish. That's just something to keep in mind for the whole sugya, that if takfa does work, it's working because, if hektish does work, it's working because at kifa. Now, Lamaisa, what I really want to do with the Xabura is to dissect the way Tosfos viewed the sugya and the way the Shiva was mazbir, and then give him a halach if you wanted to learn not like Tosfos. Meaning what? So when Tosfos looked at this sugya, he looked at the second imtim tzaloymar. So now we're saying if takva echad b'faneinu ein moitziin samiyado, if one man would actually be takafit and the other guy would be shasik v'hadar tzavach ein moitziin samiyado, and we're going with the shtika being a hoidah, hekdisha v'loy takva mahu. And the way Tosfos learns that question, the whole nidon of the Gemara is shtika kehoidah in the matzav of hektish as well. So how will that work out? Let's play out the whole situation. Lafi Tosfos, Lafi the Ritva, the Maisa. So it'll work out. So you have two people holding on to a talis, right? One guy makes an amira of hektish. So what happens? The moment you make an amira of hektish, at that point nothing happens. Right at that moment. What happens? There's a shtika that's long enough for a shtika kaidah. And what happens? Once we mavar that it's a shtika kaidah, then we'll say, at least look the sprach of Tosfos. So that means if he was maida, then this object was being held by the other guy as a pikadon the whole time. Right? It really belonged to the man who made an amira of hektish. And im kain, so if there's something that's a pikadon, I'm able to be makdish a pikadon. That's a whole din as well. That's a whole also sugi here. If you're able to be makdish a pikadon, let's go with the side that you could be makdish a pikadon. So what happened? So al yidei the shtika will say yadav hekdesha bain te'echas, that we see it's his, and the mela, if it was his, so he was able to make an amira of hektish on it, and that's showing his rishus, meaning the rishus came al yidei the shtika. The shtika is really what created his rishus, because the way myself and my chavrusa were looking at the sugi, you have to identify a few things. A, what gave him the ability to be takaf, or in this case makdish. So he really didn't have so much of an ability. Like, he wasn't allowed to do it. He has more an ability than somebody on the street who just walks up to you and says, hektish to your thing. Okay, or if you had a suffix where you and I are besuffic, but you're holding on to the thing, it's okay, I don't have so much kayach that I could be able to do this. Senechanami, I have more kayach, but I don't have kayach to actually tuck something away from you. The only thing that's mavar my kayach is a shtika. And then so how does it get to your rishus? Because we know that it has to be in your rishus to be able to make it hektish. So that only comes al yedei the shtika. Which the shtika is mavar that was bikadon, and it was always yours. And it would be makish, you go in those little prayers, it was hektish. Fine. Right, no one really happens from your tkifa. And Lamaisa, within Taisus' Mahalach, it's true that there's a halacha called Amiraso Legvoa, Kimisiraso Lahektish, Command the Takva Dami. But when was that halacha said? The Exem. That halacha is said on your cow. You're sitting in your pen with your cow and you say, cow, you're hektish. When you makdish that cow, that's Amiraso Legvoa, Kimisiraso Lahektish, Command the Takva, because in your rishus. Right? Because both halachas are true. That it needs to be in your rishus to shaf the hektish. Right, that's the Gzeres HaKasev, and that if something's in your rishus, then your amira is commanded takva. Okay, so Lamaisa, with that, so everything that's happening in the sugya is all around the shtika kaidah. So on that already, the Maram Shiv asks a question that if it's all based around the shtika kaidah, the Gemara could have read much more simply. It's like amiras l'gvok, misras l'hed, commanded takva. It's all totally on the amir here. It wouldn't be a commanded takva unless there was a shtika kaidah. He really focuses on the second part of the Gemara, but he says over here, "Termasik dish v'lei takva, o dilma hektish lehavi kitkifa dilma yitzavach. Lefi zeh l'chayra hadim misayim ha-Gemara l'milsa eksiv ish ki yaktish hulahu brings all Gzeres HaKasev hulav b'li tzayrech. The ishtika lav kaidah im kain lo yuchal hatish mitam she'enu shelo. B'tzad rishon shalai boyahu ki havi kaidah havi shelo. V'yachal hatisho afal pi she'enu b'rishuso da havi pikadon, which means it really is in rishuso. B'tzad sheni ilo havi kaidah eni yachal hatisho mitam she'en shelo v'ayin. So he says, like, words of the Gemara would be a little bit superfluous if that was the only needed. And what we're going to try to answer is why it wouldn't be superfluous. But another thing, before answering that, so now if everything is based around the shtika kaidah, now you have Amirasa L'Gvoa, Amirasa L'Gvoa, Kisirasa L'Hedi K'mai L'Takva. Is everything cool? Yeah? Fine. So we said that by an actual tkifa, so shtika would be kaidah. Now we're trying to declare, is the shtika kaidah by hektish? So what exactly are the tzadim there? Now we're saying, so this is something the Rishiva didn't touch on. That, okay, now that we've said how it worked through Pikadin and everything, but so what are the two tzadim? If the shtika is kaidah or not? What are we basing that on? On the psyche of a mensch? We're saying, is a person scared of hektish or is he not scared of hektish? Or, I mean, does he know the halachas? Maybe we're saying maybe the two tzadim of the Gemara are, enachnami by takva, that the shtika is kaidah, but we're now trying to declare what's the two tzadim in hektish, if people know the halachas or not? Or not?
So it's the type of reaction, the strength of reaction.
Oh yeah, so what's his reaction based on? Like what are we saying? Like, he should scream out, or he shouldn't scream out. Like, what's that based on?
Psychology we mentioned about something that
does he know the halacha or not? Does he know the halacha or not? Meaning, if he
even if you know.
If he knows the halacha, that command takva dami only works when something's in your rishus, right? And that would only work al yidei proving that it was in rishus. So why would he open his mouth? So okay, I don't have to answer anything. But Lamaisa, so with that ask, that we have to clear, like you're saying, it's going to come on to something like, so are people scared of it or not?
He said the word hagava in the shit.
Hagava. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So, but we have to clear. Enochnami said it, so we have to clear what's that based on. So there is a ritva, but the ritva doesn't offer tremendous clarity either. And the ritva, Amir Hashem, will lead us to a Pnei Yeshua who will clear the ritva. The ritva himself also used the lashon. Even the Amar Maram, Yirasel Zvok, Misrasel Hedyo, commanded Takva Dami, Perish commanded Takva Vishasik Dami, the Odi Le, Odilma, Hashta Mialo Takva, Klaimar, the Shtika de Shas Hektish, Lav Hodahi, Kevin the Lo Takva Mamish, Diksavar Idach, Shilo Takva Mayatzava. It wasn't actually Takva away from me, so why should I scream out? Lamaisa, he's really right. And that, look at it that way. He says that I know that there's a halacha that has to be in your rishos. I also know that commanded takva dami is only if it's in my rishos. So it almost sounds like the second side, like he knows the halacha, and the first side he doesn't, which can't be. So the Pnei Yeshua has a whole hezbollah here. The Pnei Yeshua lays out First of all, why he asked the question in the following way.
We're beginning from the
Huh? We're getting to the rip, but we still don't know what it's totally on. That's all. I couldn't discern from the Ritva exactly what it's totally on. But the Pnei Yeshua explains it. First, when the Pnei Yeshua asks the whole question of if it's the whole question of what's it based on. So he asks, "Umash kasru ha'tesavos yesh lamer kaven b'shasik v'b'sof sava odi l'havalei kikadam." So he gufa tikshav mehecha tesi nemar ishtikaso havikayda dalami yisabat v'shvil bar kaven sheodea. He uses lashon odea. He knows she'ena hektish chal if he she'eno b'rishusa. He almost lays it out as ki'ilu like what's the first side that it would be Yeshkika. The guy knows the halacha. So, like Rav Shmuel said, we're going to get into the psyche of a Stama Mensch. He first lays out that, I'm going to be Makatzer a bit just because of time constraints. Because I wanted to read the whole thing out because it's a beautiful mahalach. But I don't think I'm going to be able to. That he says that the question in our Gemara has to be a matzav of Shnayim Echazim B'Talis. If it was a matzav of one guy holding it and the other guy just coming against him in din and trying to shop the suffix, that wouldn't be able to do anything. If he was tuck with it, wouldn't do anything. Why? Kevin the Kamelon Chazaka Diraisa, the Imkain, Kol Masha Biata Adam Anansadi, the Badai Hishalo, Kilo Ba'oedim, the Imkain Einkan Mokom Li Stapik Bolamer the Oidi Lay, the Maheka Tesi Nemar came Listora Chazaka, or Haitimam Mechazis Murakam. So that was never the Nido. What was the Nido? The Nido was always by Shnayim Eichazim. Right? Ela Ikra Iboya, the Zera, the initial Iboya of the Shasik V'Hadar Tzava, is a Shidi Kaidah or not. He b'Shnayim Eichazim, Ke Gabna Masnisin, the Kai Gabna Leis Le L'Shum Adam, L'Shum Echad Mehem, Teskus Murakama. And then he says that he wants to be Mazbir the Ritva. And when he does, he's first going to say a big Chiddush. He's going in Shitas Taisus, he's going to say a big Chiddush. That in Ke the Kai Gabna, B'Shnayim Eichazim, Leke Chazaka Gemura, L'Shum Echad Afilo Al-Chetzi, the Afogab Damrina La'el Anan Sadi, the Mighty Toughest, Haidi Dehu, he said this, Muslim of Anan Sadi, that Taisus said, Hasam L'Rubacha de Milsa, Amr Kane, the Anan Sadi Lav Dafka, Ela Kaven, the Machmas of Safek, Dim Tosh Shachloku, Habalek Anan Sadi. It's feel like an Anan Sadi. And he goes weiter that said to say that the Chazaka of Kol Mashatachas Yad Adam Shalo is also weakened. Shari Kol Echad Seisha Chazaka V'Emer Shemasha B'Yad Chaveru Hu Shalo. So then he uses this lashon. Kevan Sha'adaber Safek Lebeistin Hayalo Lachush. The man should have been worried. Pen Yoyolo Tvisaso Shlo Yotzio Mama Misafek Moshesh Be'emes Kama Chaluke Dinim Bazeh Hechad Oleka Chazaka Damar Kama V'Hainu Grupo Yiboy Basraisa. He wants to say that Lamaisa, since there are so many dinim totally here, like we have something that's a suffix, Armando Amin would say, like, if you're toughest and suffix, the Tvisa would work. Like, you should know that there's a lot of, although he doesn't know the clear-cut halacha here, you should know that there's a lot of sveikas going on. And he says, V'od ha'havale mitzvah halacha shel you should worry. Shishtana hadin, maybe the din will change. Imken yesh l'stapik behektish also, below takva, yamrin and kevad amirasa below k'nisras. Meaning, the way that I was understanding the Pnei Yeshua, which might not, I think this is what he's saying, is that so the way we're looking at the guy is a Stama Mensch. He knows that this is halacha, but he's not 100% sure about this halacha. He's mistapik about it. So how should he react? Should he react Sad A? This is kind of like what you were saying. Sad A, how should he react? He should realize that there are a lot of sveikos here, and that his chazaka is not the same as if he would be holding on to it on his own, right? He's got a weakened chazaka, so he should be worried and he should scream out. Now, the other side of the Odilma, he says, Yalzam Masik Odilma, Ma Beis Rishuso, Af Kol Rishuso, the Kavanaso Bazeh, the Shema, that the guy has a Havmina, or he has a, this is the way he looks at it, Lo Shayach Hektish Klal Ela Dover Shuba Vade Rishuso Tomida Beso. Right? Aval Kisha Dover Suffolk, Imhu Rishuso, Ve'ena Yakal Varer, Namar, the low chalal of hektish klan. The way that I thought he was saying it could be that he's not. The way that I thought he was saying it is kind of like what Shmuel said. That the word is in Echanami. We're dealing with a stam mensch off the street. He knows in Echanami that there's a halacha that it needs to be in your rishus to be hektish. He also knows there's a halacha that Ketakva dami. I mean, Russell had your command ketakva dami. He just doesn't know if it's going to apply here or not. So what does the Stam Yid see when he's faced with this situation, right? When he sees this situation, what should be his knee-jerk reaction? That's the way I think the Pnei Yeshua is saying that the student of Tosfos is. What do you think? And that's one way to say it. You know what I'm saying? Sort
I hear what you're saying, and I thought you were just saying what would the average guy think the halacha is.
What would the average guy think the halacha is? Meaning we're saying that he's a guy who knows a little halacha. He doesn't know exactly what the halacha is here, but what would he think to say is halacha? Meaning, would he say, I'm worried because Yisroi chazaka, my chazaka is weakened, and I should open my mouth about something? Or do we say no? He'll think to himself, yeah, but Mamaisa, I know it has to be in his rishus to be takafit, and it's not really bad in rishus. Yeah, as it, like that. But Mamaisa, so now that we saw the Pnei Yeshua, so where are we? What time is it? Yeah, I was going to be Mavar. I think I still will be. Mamaisa, so what if you don't want to learn, like Tosfos, that the entire Nidon is based on Shtika Karidar or not? How will the Gemara read? Meaning, we'll have to figure out how it gets to his Rishus. Okay.
Like, you don't have
Meaning, right, if you don't go with the whole Pikadon shot and the Shtika Karidar, so then how does it get into his Rishus? So you'll read the Gemara, and you'll say, Im Tim Salaymer Takva Echad B'Fanenu Ein Moitzian Oisa Miyado Sigdisha B'Loi Takva Mahu Sad A Kevan de Amar Mar Ami Russell Gvok Miss Russell Hegel Command the Takva Dami. What does that mean? So I had a Havmina, which I threw out because I thought it was pretty like Chazer, but I think I'm going to bring it back with Meir Simcha. We would have had a Havmina that what? We know it needs to be in his Rishus to be able to be Takva, right? To be able to be Makdishit. So what could you say? Because the Maisa, we know this Manda Amar, the first tzad, a lot of holds that of the Gzeres HaKasser, that it needs to be in your Rishus. He just thinks that this is going to qualify for being in your Rishus. So how could that qualify for being in your Rishus? So maybe you could say that when he makes the Amira of Hektish, Ki'ilu, two things happen there. When he tuckets it away to Hektish, Ki'ilu, he tuckets it to him for a second, and then gives it to Hektish. Boin Ke'echad, but not the Ritva's Boin Ke'echad, a different Boin Ke'echad. Hagufa. It's a Boin Ke'echad type thing, that when you make an Amir of Hektish, you Ki'ilu tuck it to you, and then give it to Hektish. So now that would be a big Kiddush to say such a thing. And then the other Manda Amar would say, Na'ena Kanami, like, that would be, in a Kanami, you could say Boin Ke'echad, but you really need the halacha that it should be a Metzias of Rishos. So now, I initially threw that out. And I was going to bring a Ran who brings another Mahalach, but I'll stay with the Rav Meir Simcha, because I know I'm going to run out of time. So I'll tell you the Rav Meir Simcha, who I think might go along with such a Mahalach. So Rav Meir Simcha says that even in the initial Yidon, when we say, is his Shtika Karidar or not, so what were the two Tzadim initially in Rav Zera? Hook up with this for, this is a epistle thing, that for the initial question of Rav Zera, where we ask if somebody is Tokaf in front of Beis Din and there's a Shasek V'Hadar Tzavah, so we ask, do we say, since it was in front of the Rebbein, in front of the Dayanim, so Lamaisa, he didn't have to worry, or was it Shtika Karidar? Now it's very easy to understand, okay, he's in front of the Dayanim, so the Shtika is not a Haidar. What's the side that the Shtika was a Haidar then? He's in front of the Dayanim, like, why would he be Shasek? So, I mean, why would the Shtika be a Haidar? So, Lamaisa, the way he's Mavar, is he says that the two Tzadim of that Gemara, let's go with the side that it would be a Shtika Karidar, is that Masha Enken im Nemar Shekol Chad V'Chad Muchzak V'Kula Shayach B'Tezk is called Echad Im Kain Heiti Shasik V'Zebar. Meaning, he wants to say that the two Tzadim are like this. The two Tzadim of the Gemara are, how do we look at the suffix? Do we look at the suffix as Anan Sadi Lozeh Anan Sadi Lozeh? And Im Kain, if I come to Beis Din, there's an Anan Sadi to me. You pull it away from me in front of Beis Din. You're not doing anything. Or do we look at it begetter of Kula, of each guy is Muchsik Kilo and Kula, use the Lashon. Use the Lashon that Mash Enkin Nemar Shekol Echad V'Chad Muchsik V'Kula. if you look, each one is muksik b'kula, and then I rip it away from the other guy, and we had been looking at it before that I'm muksik b'kula, and now I take it away, and afal pi that it's in front of the dayanim, he says that you should open your mouth. Right? He says, "Mashenkein nemar shekol chad v'chad muksik b'kula, shaykh v'cheskas kol echad imkein hefi shasik zebar." And he wants to say, so now back in our Gemara, the side that we're going in when the second Intim Salamer even begins is that if you were taka, ein moitziin. So if you say ein moitziin, so that means the shtika is kaidah. Imkein, that means we're looking at it as that was kula the kula, right? So, okay, so if you look at it kula the kula, so Rav Meir Simcha says as follows: Im nemar takva ein moitziin miyado, v'chashvinin shekol chad mufsik bekula mitzad tana sayu the kula shalom. Right? So im kain havakula shlo mispashet mul kol chazaka shalo the nimsa the hekish v'rishuso boin ke'echad. That's a very loaded statement there. So Lamaisa, when I made my initial statement that you have a word of him making a tekifa, not a tekifa, a mirror of hekish, and let's tuck it to him and then gives it to hekish. So it needed to. Sarah only works this way if you say that the way we're looking at it is that the suffix is that this one side is a kula shalom. Otherwise, he doesn't really have ground to start from. But if you say that one side of the suffix is that it's kula shalom, so then when he makes an amir of hektish, he wants to say kilo is mispasha. It's going along with his taina. It's like proving his taina kilo and going along with his kaf taina. And then al yedei that it would make it al yedei that he wants to say a lashon, which is the lashon I used, of hektish rishus b'ayin kafad. He's definitely not using the ritbas hektish rishus b'ayin kafad because that's mashika kaidah. He's saying a different hektish rishus b'ayin kafad. Now, you have to bounce, don't you? We'll say one more thing. I realize that I really took on too much to say, but I'm going to say one more thing. Just a mahalach Efshir and Rashi. In Rashi here, so does Rashi? You can bounce. Does Rashi hold like Taisus of Shtika or not? Now, Lamaisa, the Maharsha definitely is holding that Rashi is going with the Mahalach of Shtika Kaidah, and seemingly even in the whole, we're going to see if it can be in the whole Sugya. And the Maharsha already asks in the Susa, which Rashi didn't say anything in the Susa, copy being Shtika Kaidah or not. The Maharsha, by Taqfa Kain he mentions, so we'll get there. So by already Masusa, he used the Lashon, the Maharsha is really trying to clear Taisus in Dibur Maskal Vaha about Masusa. He said, Lo nicha lahu to Taisvis, lafarish hach baya de Masusa la inyan shtika kaidah, kaniram imperish Rashi. Meaning he's saying Rashi is holding in shtika kaidah, which we'll have to clear how could that work in Masusa. And like Rav Shmuel pointed out, Rashi does at one point in the Sugya mention a vort from shtika kaidah, but he mentions that by Safek Bechor. Now, with Pnei Yeshua, like just like everybody else, jumps and says, if that's a Jorah, the main case, how could it be? So the Pnei Yeshua goes at length to be mavar what it means a shtika kaidah. But even after the Pnei Yeshua, if the person would be tzavach, then you wouldn't be able to be tucked with it, right? You still wouldn't be able to be tucked with it if the guy was tzavach. No, it's not really a shtika kaidah, it's more a lesson of skama. But if the guy was tzavach, you wouldn't be able to take it. And the Pnei Yeshua elsewhere use a lashon afal pi that he was mavar Rashi. It doesn't mean a shtika kaidah mamish. Elsewhere, the Pnei Yeshua uses that lashon and says that it's still a vort. It can still be in the parsha of shtika kaidah afal pi. It's not like the classic shtika kaidah. He used a lashon that where he says im temra my ein mitziin miyado v'alo abal chuvut. So he says like this that aval shitas Rashi the hacha shayach nami shtika kaidah k'mosh kasav lahedya. Where he says that by before, Kvar Kisafti Balichos Hanir Alinas Daiti the Kabanasa, Imkain Bade Lo Yachol Litno Lakoin Acher, Kaven the Havalei Kodah. So he's saying Apple P doesn't work in the classic Shtika Kodah. Still, if you would be Tzavach, so that would be able to block the guy from taking it if there's real tzvicha. And fine. So the Iker, and Rashi also at the beginning, where he talks about Talus, is very ambiguous. He just says that in the Odilma, that ish ki yaktish is beso hulu ma beso rishusa afkol rishusa lafuki hadale rishuso. It just says he used the lashon halo takva ben yachal akdisha. Halo takva ben yachal akdisha is very ambiguous. Maybe you could say that means because you see the shtika is not kaidah. You could make it work. But the one thing I want to say is that how could it be that Mesusa would be Shayach to Shtika Kaida? It's a Kol Dolim Gvar din. So Efshar the Maharam can answer. The Maharam would answer that if you would tell me that Shtika is Kaida by the Mesusa, Tzarech Lemer, if you might a Salka Daitach, the Ayri be Metaltalin, that there's a Havmin and the Mesusa was Metaltalin, Hayam Aforish Habaya, the boy, I have a Shtika Kaida, Kamosha Perish HaTaisus, B'dibur Zeh, or Fiyam Askana, the Ayri be Mesusa, the Karka, Hare Habaya, Kamosha Perish HaTaisus, B'dibur Shachar Zeh, Mitam Din, Koldol and Gvar. He's mashma here. He's trying to clear, like, you have one, besides the fact that in Taisvis, in one place he's going Shtika Kaida, and in one place he's not, the end of the first Taisvis leaves you thinking that Mesusa is Shayach Shtika Kaida. So he declares, how could that be, that Taisvis there would be talking also Shtika Kaida? But he wants to say that there was a Havamina, they were talking about that it could be a Metaltalin type thing. And if it was a Metaltalin type thing, so then it would be Shayach Shtika Kaida. Alright. Fine. Next time I won't try to do so much. I gotta start early, but yeah. Okay. There's too much. That's okay.